Hello, I'm Gary Lyon and welcome to Access All Areas. Yet again, some teams seized their chance on the weekend to get closer to playing in September, while others blew it. Hello, Damien Barrett.
Hello, guys.
The Magpies one of those?
Yeah, no one blew it more than the Magpies, guys. Lost 4 of their past 5 now. Must win at least 2 of their remaining 3. They come against Brisbane and GWS. It has to be wins against them because you concede round 23 against Hawthorn now. But even if they do get in, guys, what we've seen since the round 13 game against the Bulldogs, and that was the turning point for this team's falling away, is something that's not going to stack up in September anyway.
No, they've lost 6 of 8, if you want to go back even further. And look, even if you watched that game yesterday, within, I reckon, 2 or 3 minutes, you knew that they had not brought the sort of intensity and two-way running that is synonymous with Collingwood's best. I mean, when we see Collingwood play at their best, and even last week in the victory against Adelaide, it wasn't so much their skill level or anything like that, it was their sort of manic commitment to tackle, pressure and all those sorts of things. There was none of that. And Nathan Buckley bemoaned that after the game. They lost contested footy by 27. They were down in clearances. So then as a result of that, their back half, which has got a touch of fragility about it still because they're young, they get exposed. And, yeah, look, it doesn't concern me overly, as I've said many times.
You're quite bullish about the big picture, though, aren't you? I'm less bullish.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm bullish to the fact that I don't think they're going to drop away dramatically and go to the bottom rungs of the ladder. I still think there's enough young talent in that side to be injected over the next 12 months that's going to keep them competitive. You touched
on the back line, though. I mean, to me, that what they've got there at the moment is not going to cut it for them in coming years.
No, Keith and Frost have been working pretty admirably. I mean, that game yesterday, they were always going to get exposed because there was no pressure through the middle of the ground. And in the end it overwhelmed them. But yeah, you lose Maxwell out of it. Langdon, who's been a revelation, doesn't play. And I think eventually Ben Reid may have to go back and just become that, one of the best centre-half backs in the competition. Then it looks okay.
But you've said your word yourself admirably, and that's probably all it's going to be, though, with those two guys, isn't it? Or am I underselling both of them?
Well, no, I think you are, because they're still very young. They're really young, playing key position defence at an AFL level. They're young. And Frost has come from nowhere. Yep. And I've likened him in the past to Mel Michael, who snuck up on everyone. So I give them both another summer, another pre-season. I don't think it's a disaster.
OK. Hey, West Coast has hit some really nice form. It's doing now what it was meant to do in the eyes of many at the start of the season. But quick ball movement goes right into the forward line, blew Collingwood away.
I mean, that's the early stage of the game. But have a look at this. This was, in the end, there was no pressure at all, and they took advantage of it. But, I mean, they were the revelation of the round for me, West Coast Eagles, and they had this hungry look about them. I picked Collingwood. I obviously haven't seen enough of the Eagles because the steps they've taken have been substantial, and you had to go and watch this game to think, was it just one of those things, or are they on a bit of a charge? And I'd say on the back of yesterday they're on a bit of a charge, and they become a real dangerous floating side because Darling 4, Lysette 4, Kennedy 3, Nat Newey 2. 13 goals from that big forward line that we all looked at early in the year and thought they're going to be imposing.
Yeah, look, it came without the Crab being in the team. It was a late withdrawal. Do we read into that they actually function better without him? And when he does come back, does he play a different role?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't read into that. I think he provides something different. I mean, that's 4 tall blokes that kick 13 goals. Eventually, whether it be weather or circumstance, that won't work. So you need a different mix, and that's what LeCras brings. So I think they'll only be better for when he comes back.
Okay. Tom Lynch yesterday, guys, copped a horrific head knock against Brisbane Lions. It was his own doing. As unfortunate it is to say that, he brought this on himself.
Scary.
And he's okay, by the way.
That's great news. The crackdown has been warranted. What we got to a stage now, Damo, is that we stop paying free kicks for this. Yep. Maybe the next step is to pay free kicks against.
Okay.
Maybe that's where we've got to get to really stand.
These were worrying scenes, though, weren't they, when they unfolded?
No, they were.
We were very unsure as to what.
Grabbed his arm at one stage, which would lead me to suggest maybe he had a bit of tingling or something. And AFL Medicos are the best in the business, but maybe we're at the stage now where you lead with your head, you get a free kick against.
Yeah, I like that. And I think what they should also do is package it up into video format, send it to every club this week, and make the players watch it before next week to say this has to stop and this is why, and just really reinforce that point.
Correct, Wade. Hey. One of the games of the year, in actual fact, was down at Geelong. Fremantle taking on the Geelong Footy Club. The Cats held on in the end. Freo came back admirably. A couple of older fellas that are just starting to struggle a little bit. Matthew Pavlich amongst them. And look, once you get sort of north of 30, everyone starts to look at these sorts of contests as reasons why your career is coming to an end. We realistically have to say that the best footy of Pavlich is behind him, but that's not to say that his time as an AFL player is done.
Yeah, another one, Luke McFarlane, you wrote about in The Age going into the game, saying he should play forward. He's now done a calf and may not play again this year, but he too, Gaz, he's not having the impact that he once had at that footy club.
No, and he's had an injury interrupted season. His closing speed was always his strength as a defender. He was able to give forwards a look at it, and he was able to get that fist in. Too much separation now for big forwards, and you suspect, on the words of Ross Lyon, and we're going to have a listen to now, that he is planning for life without Luke McFarlane.
He's a pretty good player, but Alex Savani, 2012, no McFarlane, I think, and he played against the Cats and got it done. So, yeah, he can play, and we got young Alex Pearce. Look, everything, we all have our time in the sun. I'll be moving on at some point. When that is, who knows?
We all do, Damo, and we may be moved on here on this show at some stage, but that's a pragmatic Ross Lyon, and Luke McFarlane's a pretty intelligent man. I think he knows where he's at.
Is Daniel Pearce intelligent? Ross Lyon doesn't think he is at certain times.
But he's a recidivist.
They get a free kick here, the Dockers, look at the score, and he takes the opportunity to play on.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the fact that he got the ball moving.
Well, Ross didn't like it.
No, well, what Ross didn't like was the way he kicked it, and that's fair enough. But
look at Ross.
Yeah,
didn't like it, yes.
When you're under a minute to go, you're not to know as a player. You don't want to go back and have the siren go. So what Ross would be saying is kick it better, Daniel, and you won't cop that sort of a stuff. Harry Taylor, and this is one of the reasons I thought McFarlane should go forward to at least engage Taylor, because look, these first couple of instances are all Clark's fault, who's playing on him. As a forward, you've got to anticipate and you've got to be the first to move. And he's been trailed in there on every opportunity. That was Pavlich on that one. These ones are just poor. Poor kicking from the Fremantle Footy Club, just poor decisions.
It was an extraordinary performance by Taylor on the weekend, Gaz. His last 6 weeks has been as good as any stage of his career. It was a bit slow early on, but he's at the top of his game again.
Well, let's not forget Fremantle threw everything at Harry Taylor, and that's the reason why.
Yeah. Freo, Gaz, they can't win the premiership on the back of that, can they?
Well, the same problem remains. If you've got a heavy reliance on Matthew Pavlich to kick you a winning score and you haven't been able to unearth some assistance... Right, let's not forget, David Mundy, it was Mundy, wasn't it? Had
a shot.
Kicks that, they win. Are we saying that then?
No, we're not. But I mean, you've highlighted McFarlane probably out for a period of time. Pavlich not getting the job done. It's a worry. No,
I think their goal scoring potential is a thing that's going to hurt them. But it's sliding doors, to use your term, Damo, no most widely read column of the lot. Had Matthew Pavlich just slid a fraction to the right, the Fremantle supporters who watched this...
He made good contact.
He made beautiful contact. It looked good the whole way. And so did I wasn't the only one. Look at this bloke. The Fremantle, he's up. That's home. Turns his back, Damo. Looks for a high-fiving partner. The bloke next to him taps him on the shoulder and says, mate, hit the post.
I'll tell you what, punters say you should never, ever go the early crow, Gaz, and he went the early crow and copped his right whack. Hey, Michael Friedio had an interesting exchange with umpire Chris Donlan on the weekend in the GWS game. Let's just listen to it and I'll get your thoughts after we do.
It's a mark. 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 Settle down. Settle. Hey, listen. Relax. Give him the ball now. It doesn't matter. It's a mark.
What do you mean?
Listen. I've had a better view of it, right? He's behind it. So just.
Mate, so you didn't spoil it then?
Here. He clunked it. It's a mark. Holding his arm. Against you, Michael. Mark's here.
Saying you're kidding.
Get back here on the line, mate. On the line. Yes, mate.
I'm saying you're kidding.
No, mate. It's for arguing the decision.
Well, I can't say you're kidding.
It's for arguing the decision.
Can I disagree?
It's the manner you're doing it, mate.
Are you kidding?
It's the manner you're doing it. What's that, mate?
Who do I speak to? This will complain against you.
Oh, okay, you do that.
No, who do I speak to? Just say what you can do in the game. You're about 15-3.
Okay.
Hey, I just was listening to that. Chris Donlan lost the plot. I'm sorry.
Chris Donlan lost the plot.
Chris Donlan lost the plot. Don't engage him. In the end, you're in charge of the game. You're the man with the whistle. You don't have to sit there and explain. He got caught up in a minute and he lost the plot to the point where he paid a 50-metre penalty because Michael Friedo said, you're kidding. He just lost the plot, Chris.
I thought Friedo lost the plot.
No, in the end, you'd say, Michael, I've got the whistle, mate, and you keep going, I'll pay another one, and walk off. You don't need to engage.
They've sorted it out, by the way. They caught up at the airport. And
it was funny.
Caught a cab home together.
It was very funny, but there's some umpires back in my day, in the old day, that would have sorted that out pretty quickly, Damo. I'll give you the tip.
Hey, Damien Hardwick will sort out what happened to him at a quarter-time huddle on the weekend, guys. Look at the board.
No, I wouldn't be doing that to Dimmer. I don't know who's responsible. He's not the one I'd be doing that to be honest. And I don't think Brett Delidio's all that impressed either, Damo. There's a suspicion that may have been Dan Richardson. That is not Dan Richardson. No. But if the man to the right is, then look out. Hey, Jake Stringer is a very talented young footy player. He's having a great year. Goes to celebrate. Look at this little Western Bulldog man. You'll see it in a minute. He's got the red, white and blue face painted. Look at him. Oh, it's great, that. And then, back he goes. Gets back in his seat. He will remember that as he gets older. That will be on his 21st birthday vision.
Hey, a bit more conservative setup today than your picnic rug style of shirt last week, Gaz. Which...
The audience is just starting to appreciate fashion. You've gone with the Johnny Cash black. You stick with that, all right? Hey, well done to you. Go upstairs and talk to the umpires about Chris Dolan. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on afl.com.au next Monday for another edition of Access All Areas. Have a good week. Goodbye.